and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Motivation Monday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on TGLRadioshow.com. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. But if you do miss a show, you can always catch up on TGLRadioshow.com. That's where we house all our shows, all of our podcasts, everything that you want to get in touch with. Our t-shirts, if you're watching me live, you can see that we have them on, or I have them on, I should say. And we are, growing. And so we would love for you to be a part of that process. So open your mind to living differently in the world. And of course, each week we start with a theme. And this week is no different. This week is about balance, y'all. About balance. I've just been getting it. I don't believe in coincidences, and I have been getting the word balance everywhere around me, here, there, and everywhere. So I was like, you know what? Obviously, you need some balance. Not just me, but maybe everybody, especially with this holiday season. There's so many things that do go on, and so we want to just make sure that we stay balanced with regard to, sometimes we get caught up with, the amount of money that we're going to be spending. Maybe we need to balance that out a little bit. Maybe we instead of always spending, maybe put some towards saving so that we can be good for the first of the month or the year in January, or maybe it's figuring out that or getting perspective. Actually, I was having this conversation on the other side of the glass. When everything in your life is going different ways, sometimes you need to just kind of sit back and look at it from a different perspective. And so many times you will feel and find that you need balance in your life. Balance, maybe you're too geared to at work, and all of your energy and all of your time and everything is going to work, and maybe the family life is just a little bit off there. So maybe that's something we need to make sure that we're balancing out. Or maybe that you're giving everything to your kids and your children, and you're not doing enough time, taking enough time, I should say, for yourself, not doing that self-care. Or maybe you have a new project and it's a business. And so, you're pouring everything into your business, and that's important, but you are forgetting about your relationships. Actually, I was reading this meme, and it was so poignant because they were talking about how so many guys out there, so fully invested in, making sure that they have an amazing foundation, that, their books are in line, financially, they have this, they have their investments, they have all this stuff, and that they want to get all this ready before they create a family or before they start their family. But there are so many men, when you look in hindsight, who have gotten to where they are in life due to the fact that they had their rib by their side. And so it was really a catch-22 to be able to look at that, because at some point, I feel like we lost that, where, it's so important for us to have our lives together fully before we make a commitment to one another, whether it male or female. Women are like, I have to be independent. I have to have all my ducks in a row before, I meet that man. And men are doing the same thing. But how many stories have we seen where people, are where they are today because they started together? I mean, my greatest example of balance in that manner are my parents, to be perfectly honest. My parents met each other at 16, and they've been together 50 some years at this point. But the point is that, they always balance each other out. When my dad went back to law school, my mom balanced him out. When my mom wanted to start a business, my dad balanced her out. And so if we start looking to balance each other out rather than do it all on our own, we can lead to the good life. So we're going to look at balance in all different kinds of ways this week. That's just an example that I had that really touched my heart this weekend. We're going to look at it with regard to motivation. I have Bishop Henry Bolden. He's on the line. We're going to pull him in a moment, because our brand new segment on Mondays, Prophetically Speaking, was so popular, to be perfectly honest. I had a lot of feedback, and so did he. And so we're really excited to have this conversation. So I wanted to pull it in for the full show today, just so we can get a handle on what the segment kind of looks like and where we want it to go. To be perfectly honest, since it is a little bit prophetic, we don't know which way it's going to take us. We will go the way the conversation leads us. Tomorrow, it is the first Tuesday of the month, so we would have Everything Else here. She's an actress. She is an Instagram sensation. You can follow her. Everything_else on Instagram. So she will be here, a part of Relationship Tuesday, of course, with our resident relationship therapist, Henry Jolly, and Dr. Tammy Wilborn. The whole crew will be here on tomorrow. We have a brand new segment on Wednesdays as well. It'll be the first Wednesday of every month. It'll be Barbershop Talk. So we will have two of the barbers from Case Close, and throughout the coming months, it will have, different barbers and different people stopping in. If you ever wanted to be a fly on the wall in the barbershop, here is your time to do it. So it'll be really exciting. We'll have fun conversation with them. And then, of course, we will have Gumbo Talk 30s. Thursday, we will have the ladies here. And what I've always wanted to do is start, test tasting things. So we're going to figure out what we're going to test taste and give you all our 2 cents on exactly what that taste test is. We'll choose a restaurant, and maybe it'll be gumbo. It'll be something. So restaurants out there, if you would like us to start tasting your dish, please give us a call at 504-400-7127, or you can email me, Eileen, EILEEN, at tglradioshow.com. That is tglradioshow.com. We will be doing tastings on Thursdays. So that'll be fun. So if you're a caterer or, anybody that has anything to do with food, if you want us to taste your food and give us, our 2 cents on it, let the ladies of Gumbo Talk Thursday do that for you. And of course, we have Freedom Friday, where we open our mind and we drop our bags and we walk into our passion and our purpose. So that's a little bit of breakdown of what we're going to talk about this week and what's going to be going on. I hope you enjoy it. If you do miss a show, again, you can go on tglradioshow.com and follow us there, and follow us on all of our social media platforms. That is at TGL Radio Show. So I'm going to jump into the line because Henry is not in studio today. I'm so sad. But of course, he is on the line. He is always here. Good morning, Henry. How are you? Oh, incredible. I love your adjectives. He is incredible. Okay, well look, can you tell us, why are you incredible, Henry?
It's a byproduct of operating your life in balance. Having everything in sync with the direction of your destiny, having everything in sync, The reason most people are generally frustrated is because they live unformatted lives.
Wow.
Their life is not formatted. They haven't developed a discipline to only allow things in their environment that is going to enrich them, that is going to enlighten them, and that's going to cause things that they're engaged in to excel. I got to be around the right environment. Most of us have relegated ourselves. Here's really a big issue, and this is from just my personal experience in terms of counseling or ministering to people, is that one of the greatest tragedies about most of our lives, and mine as well, I had to learn to process it and deal with it, but I found myself in a place where I was scheduling grief, I was scheduling tragedy.
Wow.
I was making accommodations for tension and turmoil on my calendar, but I never made time for vacation on my calendar.
Wow.
I'd schedule appointments so that people can release their problems, their issues, their tension, and generally, most of the time, people walk away free and loose and liberated.
Right, they feel better.
Knowing that people have transferred what they were carrying on to you, and they feel better, and then you're left in the aftermath of that with that heaviness. And if you don't know how to process that or create barriers in your life that prevent you from experiencing burnout, see, the problem is, a lot of people that are listening to this now, the real problem is you have taught people how to overextend you.
Ooh. Henry, say that one more time. Wait, Lee, are we listening to this? Prophetically speaking, we didn't even start that segment yet. But go right ahead, Henry.
No, I didn't mean to go too
Oh, no. You are on point. Look. Balance.
Yeah, and we really teach people how to overextend us whenever, and generally that's because our perception perception of ourselves or too low, and we don't understand. And here's the problem: every person that feeds off of you, you need people that you feed off of.
Right. Can you explain that? Wait, can you explain that? Because there may be people who are listening who are like, what is he talking about? For every person that feeds off of me, I need somebody to be like, huh? Break that down for someone who may not understand, because I know what you're talking about.
You're surrounded by people where in your group or in your environment, you're everybody else's fuel. Who's fueling you?
Right.
When your car breaks down, you can call a tow truck, but who does the tow truck call?
Right. Right.
So every person, if you're in a position where you feed people or imparting into people or expanding people's knowledge, then every nurturer needs a nurturer. You need that reciprocal cycle in your life because it avoids you experiencing depletion. A lot of you are rebuking the devil, but really what it is your poor and irresponsible management of your own time.
Wow.
And you are depleted unnecessarily, and you're drained emotionally, spiritually, physically, because you have what I like to call, you have this God complex where you feel like, well, everybody needs me. And if you're not careful, if you're out of balance, then you will cause your life to revolve around the concept that everybody needs you. And you'll be there for everybody at the expense of neglecting you, neglecting the proper eating habits, neglecting the proper exercise, neglecting the necessary time you need to get away to vent in order to prevent this mental strain that a lot of us are carrying. So you got to get up every day, and you have to pray for discernment. You know, you have to pray and say, God, I need my life to be in balance. And what does that mean? Why am I praying for that? Here's the issues. You have to ask God to give you enough insight to know the difference between the necessary and the unnecessary.
Wow.
Between the mandatory and what's not mandatory. See, you have to learn that everything doesn't deserve your time, your response, your energy, or your effort.
Wait, say that one more time. Everything does not require.
Does not deserve your time, your energy, your effort, or your response. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you will stop investing yourself so deeply at the expense of putting yourself in the rut while you're putting everybody else on the right route. And so I have to get up every day and say, God, help me know. Give me the demarcation between, is this really necessary now? Do I really need to do this now? Do I really need to talk to them now? Because if you're not careful, people will exhaust you, and they will lay a guilt trip on you and say, well, you're not giving me enough attention. You're not doing this. Well, the criteria for you giving anybody attention, particularly at this stage in your life, are people who are adding to your life, people who are contributing to your life or your growth, are people who are just legitimately concerned about your mental well-being.
Right.
You need somebody around you to say, hey, listen, you need to get away. Now, you're doing too much for everybody, and nobody, and here's the thing, people will pull on you until you have absolutely nothing
left to give.
They have no consideration that you need to be, you know, and I tell people all the time, I say, you know, people look at you, particularly when you're a leader or you're this personality, and everybody comes to you, but nobody ever for a moment thinks, I wonder if he's having a bad day. I wonder if everything is good with him. Because people view you from the perspective of their need of you.
People view you from the view that they people view you from the need.
Yeah, and that's what they do. They need you to be the person that answers all their questions. They need you to be the person that counsels them. They need you to be the person that has all the answers, but never taking a moment and say, wait a minute, what if he needs something? And that's the problem. That's the struggle with being leaders or givers or dominant personalities, whatever your sphere of business is. People only view you from that one perspective. They don't know that sometimes you can be hurting, you can be going through your own personal crisis, but because you have a established regimen of balance for your life, then I'm not going to allow myself to be overloaded mentally. At some point, whoever listens to me now, you have to be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm not taking any more of this. I need a timeout. I need a break. Because believe me, if you drop dead today, they just going to pick up the conversation with somebody else tomorrow.
Exactly.
I promise you that. Hear me what I'm telling you in the spirit. Those of you who are just running yourself ragged, trying to meet the need of everybody, trying to be everybody's answer, trying to be everybody's solution. If you killed over today, they'll have a conversation with somebody else tomorrow and keep going on with their life.
Right. Okay. How can I fill this void with someone else? Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me slide them in right there.
And that's all they do. And that's why you have, and that goes back to my point that those who feed people have to be surrounded by people that can feed off of. Because if you're just feeding people, it means that you're just surrounded by a bunch of scavengers.
Wow.
You're not surrounded by people who are as interested in your well-being
as you are theirs. Henry?
Yes.
You're hitting it today. You were hitting it. I literally was having this conversation.
Wow. Well, I don't want to lose my job. I want to.
No. It's amazing because I know where we are, mentally, which is why this next segment is going to be funny. But Henry and I did not have a conversation before this, and people would probably think that we did, but we did not because I was talking to somebody else before. And so it's everything you're saying is so on point from so many different things that I've gotten like through prayer and just through other conversations. And I clearly don't believe in coincidences. And everyone who listens to this show, if there's one thing you get from this show is there are no coincidences. Maybe I need to make that a bumper on, on something. Lee, I'm gonna make a bumper today. There are no coincidences. FYI, there are no coincidences. There are no coincidences, and there's no coincidence that you are listening today. And Henry brought up, or I should say, is clearing a path for this conversation because each of us need to have it with ourselves first and the people around us, because now is the time of year to begin to find that balance so you can catapult yourself into 2018. Y'all know y'all go to work, but it's a different level of work. It's holiday season. Everybody's having a holiday party. Their lunches are getting later and all of this. Y'all know how it goes. It just is what it is for the month of December. But while you're doing that, take time for yourself. Just like Henry said, you were scheduling time to do all this stuff, but you weren't scheduling time to take care of himself. And I'm the same way. I take care of everybody else, but am I taking care of myself? And for each and every one of you out there listening, we know you schedule time for everybody else. You're shopping for everybody else. You're stressed doing this, that, and the other, trying to make everybody else's Christmas happy. But are you taking care of yourself? Are you finding that balance? And Henry, you hit on something key for me there is allowing people to pull from you and not being fulfilled yourself. And so I want everyone to really take a look at that now. You can finish on that thought, Henry.
I'm listening at you and saying that you have to really safeguard your life. Don't allow people to pull on you more than you have the capacity to pull on. And it's okay. You have to let yourself be okay with the fact that you may not be able to help every single person, and you may not be able to talk to every person through a crisis and through a journey. Here's the issue. When you develop this God complex or you present yourself that way to people, then what you do is that you're not pointing people to the person who ultimately has the power and the answers and the clarity, and that's God. You take it upon yourself to be that. And I know what that feels like because there's somebody listening to me who knows what kind of adrenaline rush it is for everybody to say, I know who we can call. We can call Henry. And we got he gonna get it done properly.
Right.
I call Eileen right now, and Eileen gonna make it.
Gonna make it happen.
Gonna happen. You know what I mean? And so, to a degree, we fed off that. I don't know if that's a part that's contributed into some kind of subliminal, egotistical thing that's underlying that I have these abilities, these God-given talents that God's given me. But what you're doing is, again, you're teaching people, you're literally orientating them on how to overextend you.
Wow.
And if you don't have systems around you that are pouring back into you, you're going to ultimately be depleted and you're not going to be good for anybody else, most especially yourself.
Well, I'm glad you said that. So, how do we do that? If you're listening now and you're like, this is resonating with me, it is touching my spirit, my heart, my soul, I am lighting up inside because he is speaking my story. He is talking about me. What do you do?
If you're listening to me, I want you to write this down. If you're driving, if you got to pull over, because this is going to be revolutionary, you have to make sure you are scheduling your sanity.
That's going to be a post today. Follow us, y'all. Schedule your sanity.
Schedule your sanity, which means, for instance, for me, I do a lot of counseling. In fact, I had to be medicated because I was consuming myself. When I look at a 24-hour day and 13 or 14 hours of those days are me being consumed with stories of grief or turmoil, that has long-term effect on you. Whether it manifests itself immediately, but it does have long-term effects on you.
Right.
So I schedule my sanity. There's only so many counseling sessions I'm going to deal with relational issues. There are only so many counseling sessions I'm going to deal with that deals with certain heavy subject matters. In other words, I'm going to schedule my sanity out of 24 hours a day. At the end of each day that you have to make sure you're scheduling more sanity or more sane moments than you are insane moments.
Right. You have to keep that balance.
Yeah.
Or you're going to go insane.
And you have to realize you have the power to do it. You have the permission to it. It's your prerogative to do it. Well, we need to meet with you. We need to talk about this. And, I'll say, no. I won't be able to talk about that until Wednesday. And you have to be okay with saying that now.
And I'm glad that you said that because sometimes you don't want to tell somebody no, but you can say not now.
Well, but then you have to, and I know it's going to be hard at first, but you have to begin to exercise your right to say no. Because here's the issue. You're not saying no out of being mad or angry. You're saying no as a safeguard.
Wow.
Because suppose the person before you had the need came to me and they just rambled on, they just dumping everything on me, then I wouldn't have an objective stance to help you through yours. So sometimes I'm going to say no so I can filter everything that previously happened, process it, compartmentalize it so that I have a clear mind to better serve you. So me saying no is actually an advantage to you. Because if I keep just servicing people after everybody's doing and dumping everything on me, then I'm not going to be very objective and I'm not going to be effective for you. And most of all, I've got to hear myself saying, it's okay to say no.
It is okay
to
say no.
Today? No. I can't meet till next Thursday. Because if you don't train yourself how to say no, people never will. And they'll expect a yes out of you. And the moment they don't get a yes, they'll become disgruntled with you.
Say that last part again.
If you keep saying yes to everybody, and the moment you say no, they'll begin to get disgruntled with you.
How many people feel that right now?
Oh, I know what that is. I'm telling you, this is not out of a book. I'm telling you real life experience.
Right. I'm with you.
I'm talking to this, listening to us. Good, hear me. This is from years of counseling and ministering and teaching and talk. I'm telling you the mentality or the psychology of people. You can be the best thing since sliced bread as long as you tell me yes. The moment you tell me no, now I'm disgruntled, now I'm upset, and now I have an issue with you.
Now I have an issue with you.
You have an issue with me because I'm trying to preserve myself for you.
Because I'm trying to take care of myself. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. People
don't mind you taking care of them. They just have a problem trying to take care of you.
Wow.
See, I can take care of you all month. But if I say, oh, not today, I just want, well, now she changing on me. Eileen thinks she all that. They don't have a problem as long as you take care of them. But when you try to take care of you, that's when people have the problem with you.
Yeah, but what if it gets to the point where they dry you out and you have nothing left to give? Then they go on to the next, right?
That's the real reality. 90 to 95% of the people that you're helping would not help you in the same circumstance.
You know what? I I didn't have a mic to drop, so I dropped the pen. Didn't have a mic to drop because the mic, is on this contraption. But if I had a mic to drop, I would drop it. I need you to say that one more time before we go to break. Yes, say that one more time. Woo.
90 to 95% of the people that you're helping would not help you if they were in the same position to do so. People don't have the fortitude you have, the energy you have. That's why you have to be a proponent of the preservation of you. You don't hear me say anything else today. Just repeat that a few times during the day. I have to be the biggest proponent and the champion of self-preservation.
Wow.
That's the only way I can achieve balance in my life.
The only way you can achieve balance in your life.
Yeah.
We are going self-preservation. We are going to take a quick break. And with that, we're going to go into our Monday motivational affirmations.
Motivation Monday Affirmations with Eileen. Repeat out loud or in your mind to open your mind.
You're going to do them with me?
I am a wealth magnet.
I am a wealth magnet.
I am receiving more money today and every day.
I am receiving more money today and every day.
Financially thriving.
I am financially thriving.
I choose to fully participate in my day.
I choose to fully participate in my day. I am rich.
There are unlimited ways that money is coming to me now.
There are unlimited ways that money is coming to me now.
I have everything that I need.
I love my life. I have everything that I need.
By repeating these affirmations, we begin to change our thoughts and our lives. Let's walk into the good life together.
Yay! I hope y'all enjoyed your affirmations and you were doing them as well. To begin to change your mind, you can start by, choosing affirmations. Choose some that are resonating in your spirit or, just something that you want to change in your life, whether it's self-confidence, whether it's body image, whether it's money manifestation, whether it's relationships with your family or friends. You can choose affirmations to do that. So if you're tuning in for the first time, you will see that before we go into breaks that there are affirmations for each day. The show is broken down by Motivation Monday, Relationship Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Gumbo Talk Thursday, and Freedom Friday. And we have affirmations that are geared to each day and each topic. So I hope that you're enjoying them. I've had a lot of great feedback on them. And so if you follow me on all of my social media platforms, they are there for you as well. I created little videos with each of them, like a visual one. So you can just go hit them in whichever one you enjoy. But I hope they're working for you or your work, because they are clearly working for me. You have to start noticing the synchronicities and things that are going on around you. And in our next conversation, our next segment is called Prophetically Speaking. Long story short, I don't want to give it all to you before we go into it, but if you watch during the live, you get to see it. I have begun, he's giving me that we're about to go live. I've begun this walk, I don't want to say recently because it's been the last couple years, but it's a walk that is very humbling, and it's eye-opening, and it's definitely different. So I gave a little bit of my journey last Monday when we started the segment. So I'm going to ask Henry to do a little bit himself. Prophetically speaking. Here we go. We're about to be live.
For information, advertising, rates, and packages, find us online at tglradioshow.com or call 504-400-7127. Open your mind and grow with the Good Life Radio Show today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Motivation Monday, and we are here to open your mind. We are here on the Good Life Radio Show, opening minds, living differently in the world with love, compassion, tolerance, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at tglradioshow.com. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you get yourself a shirt while you're there. Hit TGL Gear, buy yourself a shirt, aprons. We have all kind of stuff, fun stuff for the holiday season. Make sure you put that in your gift baskets. We are back with Henry Bolden, and he is my new partner. Well, he's not my new partner, but he's my partner in this brand new segment titled Prophetically Speaking. And I'm really excited about the segment. Or actually, Henry, was I excited about the segment?
Oh my God, I've never seen so much glee and joy.
Well, literally, which this conversation may be, because I never want to honestly set this segment up with anything that is planned. I kind of just want it to be what comes off the top of our heads, which would clearly be prophetic. So how this show or this segment began is I was supposed to start it months ago, but I kind of didn't want to out myself. And I think there's so many people who are living that same life where, you know, you are getting divine messages, you have a relationship with God, or maybe you don't have the relationship with God, but you're still getting messages to be pushed in that direction. You're like, what is going on with my life? Well, that's kind of how I found myself. And so I started to reach out to people who had been in their walk a lot longer than me. And so Henry was one of those persons. So Henry, you can take it away and kind of let them know, you know, what was your walk like? And I guess when I bust in the scene, I was like, help me. Please.
Well, you know, it's always, you know, it's one of those things where people see something in you that you don't quite see in yourself yet. And they don't really engage any further in it until you acknowledge it. And I think that's the proper protocol for that. I mean, just literally upon our first meeting, my signals went off, you know, and God was saying there's she's a carrier. She is a carrier of the prophetic gift. And so I've learned through my experience, you know, because you could be so dogmatic about it and point your finger at people, and you got it, Eileen, you got this, and you no. You want it to be, for the lack of a better word, you want it to be an organic reveal without being kind of coasted or provoked out of you. Mm-hmm. I just knew what the Lord was saying to me concerning you, because every time we would get together, I would feel it radiating more. And which is what happens when you are in the presence or around people who carry the same thing. It's like the mother of Jesus and her cousin Elizabeth. Mm. When they got together, the baby jumped on the inside of her.
Wow.
And so when you're around people that cause what's in you to be not just activated, because you're aware something is active in you, you just don't have a descriptor for it. But when you're around people that that stimulates it, that makes it jump, that makes it leap in your belly, and that's kind of how that experience was. And you know, just, you know, the late night calls or the texts, or I had a dream at 2:27 in the morning, and right. What does this mean? And, you know, all those kind of things were you evolving. And not, I mean, I guess evolving in a sense without fear, without trepidation. Because there was, and I've seen that development in you from the, I don't know if I should really say this, or, God told me to tell this person this, but I didn't. And I didn't, to the point where you kind of matured and say, hey, if God says to say it, I just have to say it because I'm a mouthpiece. And when you are, here's the issue. The ventriloquist dummy can't say to the ventriloquist, I'm not talking.
Right, right.
Because you're not the one doing the talking.
Right.
And so that's the same thing with that prophetic mantle. Once you yield to that, then that's when God will begin to speak more to you. When you do it without hesitating, and it happens to me quite often. And I'll even text people or call them and say, listen, you know, I could be getting on a plane and hurry up and step to the side while I was boarding and say, hey, I got to call you. The Lord told me to tell you this, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Now, my natural man would say, well, I'll just hit them up once I get to Dallas and once I land and get to the hotel. But I've learned how vital it is to do it exactly when he tells you to do it.
And it's,
Because
yes.
who knows if that was a preemptive strike against a suicide attempt?
Right.
Who knows if God needed me to call them that moment so they didn't walk away from something that was going to be beneficial for them. So you learn how to develop that sensitivity, and not just sensitivity, but you develop this urgency. Even if, we're in the room together and the Lord speaks to you and you're like, oh, excuse me for a second, I got to go and call this person because God just told me to tell them that, and you have to respond like that. See, because God doesn't give revelation to people who don't respond.
Wow. Say that one more time.
God doesn't give revelation to people who don't respond.
They're not so important.
Yeah, and that's what anybody who has this prophetic gift, you have to understand that. That's why it's not good for people to say, well, God hadn't talked to me in a while, I haven't got any revelations, I haven't gotten any instructions. It's because God's not going to give you new revelation until you've complied with the last revelation.
Well, I can speak to that clearly. Exactly. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Why haven't, I'm so used to my regular, I'm like, well, what's going on? Well, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing.
There you go.
He's like, I told you to stay in this lane. You're in the wrong lane. So when you get back in this lane, we're going to be good. And not saying that he ever left me. He was just trying to gear me back to that lane.
Absolutely.
To where he had me. And that's so many people. And so if this is touching you, and my gift is prophetic, yours could be something else, or it could be a multitude. You could have the gift of wisdom, the gift of knowledge, the gifts of there's so many, but it could be whatever. But if you're feeling this, and it's crazy because once you kind of start figuring out, I prayed, I was like, God, please bring people into my life that are on this same walk, because I know you touched on this last week, and I'd love for you to touch on it again, that it's lonely and isolating and confusing all at the same time. Or can be.
Absolutely. And it doesn't, let me see, at the risk of sounding grim, it doesn't get much better.
Thanks, Henry.
I think it was kind of oxymoronic. It had to be that grim. But the issue is because there's a remnant of people. And I wanted to say something to what you just said, that your gift may not be the gift of prophecy, or you may not flow in the prophetic, but hear me. Every person is gifted. You have implanted from the foundation of the world with a gift. Your job is to not spend your life trying to find what that gift is. Your job is to find what that gift is and live from your gift.
Yes.
God gave you the gift to give him glory, but you're supposed to live your life out through that gift. Yes. Whereas you're not just a recipient of a gift, but you are a gift. You become a gift to people. People are enriched and enlightened anywhere you go because you operate from that gift. So walking in this realm, it is absolutely lonely because most people only perceive you in the natural sensory realm.
Right.
They're only going to perceive you from how they met you, how they knew you, how they grew up with you. In fact, if you think it's hard for people to relate to you, Jesus had the same problem. When they start talking about how great Jesus was, they start saying something like, wait, ain't that Mary's boy, the carpenter's son?
Right, like, what you talking about?
Person? Because there are some people that will never let you live past what they know about you.
Ooh, say that one more time.
There are some people that will never let you live past what they know about you.
And I'm glad that you're saying that, because I believe with what with what I'm walking in this capacity and others, so many times, God does not choose the people that you think he's going to choose to do something.
Well, the Bible,
you know what I mean?
That's so fascinating that you brought that up. The Bible says not many wise men are chosen, not many mighty men are chosen, but he chooses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. He'll choose people that people is like, now you gotta be kidding me. There's no way in the world that he's operating at that status or is moving in that level. Because God is going to use you to confound people. He's going to confound the world. In other words, when God chooses you and he decides to endorse you, then he expects that you would have worldwide impact. You're supposed to make a mark on this world.
Wow.
Anybody who's listening to me now, you have been already earmarked to make a mark on this world. Don't shy away from it because of people's opinion or
you just gave me chills, Henry.
outcast, or you're going to fear that you're going to lose the friends that you have. No, no, no. You were meant to make a significant impact on this world. And I would say this to you. Never trade acceptance for significance.
Wow.
Never give up your significance just to be accepted by anybody.
And there's a confidence that goes into it because, you know, you're like, I want to make sure I say the right thing. But I've had so many situations where I've been required to say something. And I mean, if I don't even know if I should say like stuff that I've told people that has come true, like happily.
Yeah.
But I'll give you one. I had a dear friend, and they had a car problem, and it was going to be a really expensive. But the car was reasonably new, and I was like, I said the way that they handled it, I was like, they worked it out wrong. You're not going to have to pay anything. And they were like, what? And I was like, you're stressing. You're not going to have to pay anything. And they were like, okay, yeah, right. Well, 3 weeks later, they called me, and then it was fully under warranty, and they didn't have to pay. The bill was like $30,000. And I was like, you're not going to have to pay anything. And they were like losing their mind. And I was like, calm down. You're not going to have to pay anything. And they didn't believe me until after. And I mean, I can go into, you know, multitude of things like that. But it's just, you know, once you, just like you say, embrace it. And, you know, then you will start to receive more, and you will start to have more conversations. And honestly, me embracing it on the radio, I think we'll do that because I've been pushed to do it for so long, and I hadn't. And it was, you know, just me being confident in myself and where I am in my spirituality and moving forward. Because, you know, people look at you crazy. And you know what? I don't really care anymore, to be perfectly honest. You know, I probably did care at first, but I don't, because I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And when I started Freedom Friday, that first Friday was, I know that God is real. And I couldn't explain it then why I knew that God is real, but I am so clear that God is real. I can't even express to you because I've had like one-on-one encounters. And if you haven't had a one-on-one encounter, I don't know how to create that for you except for you to ask for it. Ask for it. I promise it will come in divine timing. I don't know what that time looks like, but you will have the encounter that you need to show you of His goodness, because it is all around us all day, every day. And I'm just so blessed and humbled to be one of His vessels. So.
Wow.
I think Lee is making us take a break. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go into our affirmations, and we're going to be back with our new segment, Prophetically Speaking, with myself, Eileen, and of course, Bishop Henry Bolden.
Motivation Monday Affirmations with Eileen.
Motivation.
Repeat out loud or in your mind to open your mind.
Y'all ready to say the affirmations?
I am a wealth magnet.
I am a wealth magnet.
I am receiving more money today and every day.
I am receiving more money today and every day. I am
financially thriving.
I am financially thriving.
I choose to fully participate in my day.
I choose to fully participate in my day. I am rich.
There are unlimited ways that money is coming to me now.
There are unlimited ways that money is coming to me now.
I have everything that I need.
I love my life. I have everything that I need.
By repeating these affirmations, we begin
Repeat
to
your
change
affirmations
our thoughts in our lives. Let's
and
walk
do it with like intensity, happiness, joy, love. Fill yourself up with it. Yes.
Small businesses play an important role in society, and L&R Security is no different.
All right, y'all. I hope y'all are enjoying the conversation. I'm opening up myself with this brand new segment, Prophetically Speaking. This is our second time with this new segment. It started last Monday, clearly, and so it'll be every Monday, Prophetically Speaking, with myself and Bishop Henry Bolden. He'll be either in the studio or out, depending on if he's giving a talk somewhere. But I have been on my prophetic walk, I want to say actively, or where I knew that it existed, probably for the past 3 years. And it's really kind of, what's funny is it has coincided with the show. Well, actually, I might say that when I come back, but nonetheless. And so it's been very interesting. It's funny, people who've watched me on social media, who have known me from my past, will say, Eileen, something's different about you, especially in these past 3 years. And it's funny, even when I was little, when Henry would say that, he's like, there's something about you, or, there's just, I've always had people tell me that, not necessarily knowing it, but it's funny how Henry said, other people can see it in you, they just don't know what that is. And I've literally had people tell me that all my life. And so it's wonderful to find my gift and be able to sharpen it so that I can help others, because that's really the point of having a gift, is to help people. Somebody called me. And that's how I do it each and every day, and I do it over the air.
The Good Life Radio Show is
It's where God put me.
For information, advertising, rates, and packages, find us online at tglradioshow.com or call 504-400-7127. Open your mind and grow with the Good Life Radio Show today.
Good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Motivation Monday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on TGLRadioshow.com. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in. You can see us live. You can hear us on the podcast. You can do whatever you want to do. Just open your mind. And so we are here with our brand new segment with Bishop Henry Bolden, prophetically speaking. And from the title, I'm guessing you can break it down that, yes, Henry and I are both prophetic in our walks. I will be honest, it's funny, Henry, you said something in that last segment, and I was kind of talking to our live viewers, and I said, it's what you said literally was my life. And I'm sure for so many who, are trying to find their gifts or whatever it is, people will be like, there's just something about you, or, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't ever see it or know what they were talking about. But people are like, oh, there's just something about you, or, or there's just this little light that shines, or whatever it is. And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? And, we don't see it maybe until later, but other people may see it in us, which I think is so interesting. Henry? That was you back?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it kind of looks back to what I was talking about earlier with regards to you. I saw it. I was so sure of it, and it was so...
What did it look like?
It's more, and I'll tell you, here's a history. It's more like a radiating feeling. It's almost like feeling heat waves from like an oven. When the oven door is open, if you stand there, you can feel the waves of it kind of radiate.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just sense it when you walk into the presence of somebody who God has entrusted with that gift. It's undeniable. Even in this infancy stages, and even when the person is not even aware that they have it,
Wow.
That you were absolutely pregnant and carrying that gift.
And it's funny because, and I talked to you about this before, we have about 5 minutes left, but I do want to, kind of give people a little bit of insight if they aren't aware of the prophetic, or, but different people have different sensations to it. Like, for me, I get direct knowledge. Like, I will get information directly, like, I call it like a download. Like, directly download it, and I clearly just know something. Like, I just know, like I know, and you can't tell me different because I know.
Right.
Or I'll feel it. and like I can get like yes or no. I can have a conversation, if that makes sense. And get information that way. Like I can ask a question and get clear information. So it works differently for everyone. And but I think I started noticing the most when I would feel stuff. And everybody has different ways of doing it. But if you are somebody that it's a sense of feeling, there's like, y'all know when y'all get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Well, I don't always, it's not when I'm cold. I get goosebumps if there's like a confirmation or if there's a good thing, but I can feel you. Like if you're not a good person, I can feel that too. And I'm like, if I'm standoffish with you, you might not be, no, I'm just joking, but true story. I'm like,
It's not that I have a bad personality, it's just that I'm really prophetic.
Right. But truly, and if, and so this will give y'all a little insight for like things that I say during the show, because when I say I'm allergic to negative people, I really am allergic to negative people. Like, it doesn't make me feel good. Henry, do you have that same... Does that work for you the same way?
I can sense, and I don't even call them negative anymore. I can sense the evil presence. But I'm not fearful of them. It's almost like...
Oh, yeah, that's not a fear,
when
yeah.
David said, I can walk through the shadow of the valley of death. Which I don't have to run through it. I could walk through it. I could be in a room with demonic people and people who have
that's every day.
Intentions. And it's not bothering me and it doesn't cause me to flinch.
Right.
Because I know who I am and I know what their limits are. What you think in your head you can do is totally different from what God would actually allow you to do.
And it's funny that you say that. Well, it's not funny because clearly we're on prophetically speaking. That's probably one of the things that I thought, well, before that would probably make me uncomfortable, that I am probably the most comfortable with. Like, I say negativity, but it is. It's either evil. It's either good or evil. It just is. It is. It's a God or the devil. Pick one. Like, there is no gray area, y'all. Y'all can play with all that, but for someone, prophetically speaking, it's God or the devil. And so, it doesn't scare me, like, at all. Like, I'm just like, like, I know who I am, I know what, and I know who has my back, if that makes more sense, you know what I mean?
And that's perfect illustration, because it's that boldness. It's like that you're walking in, and, it's like one writer says, you have horses and you have armies coming against me, but I come in the name of the Lord.
Right.
And so I come in the name of the Lord. So there is a definite protective hedge around me where I don't have to be fearful, and that's why you don't have to be fearful to say what he tells you to say.
Right.
You say what he tells you to say to who he tells you to say. You're within the boundaries of his protective covering over your life.
Right.
Nothing can hurt you, harm you, destroy you. You are under God's divine protection, period. So that gives you that boldness. I'm not worried about them.
I know. It's really amazing. And I remember when I was talking to either you or Bishop Blakes about it. And I was like, no, I think it might have been you. And you were like, kind of have fun with it. See what it does and what you can do, because it's you're like learning yourself all over because you didn't even know. Yeah, you have to exercise. It's like a muscle.
Yeah.
And so that's with anyone. I know we have like a couple of minutes left. And I know people are listening like, "Whoa!" But whatever your gift is, mine is of prophecy, and I know I also have the gift of wisdom. And I'm trying to learn to see how it works and what I'm doing. But I'm saying there are people out there who, and I was at an event. Speaking of it, I was at the Zulu picnic, and I was talking to somebody there, and they said they are the same way, and they have some of the same gifts and stuff. And she's like, I don't really like to go places because I feel other people's energy and stuff. And I'm like, we have to protect it ourselves, and you also do that with prayer and taking care of yourself. But it's not something that I feel that we should be made to feel ashamed of, if that's what I should say. And so that's part of the reason that we're having this conversation, because there's so many of us who are dealing with these insights and feelings and things, and we just don't know what to do with them. And so I will tell you, embrace it and start to walk in it, and you will be amazed, literally, how God will work for you. Like, literally.
And walk in balance. Get more prophetic people around you, and people who
believe,
than you have people who don't. That's what helps undergird it and support this walk. Be around the people. Because just like Eileen and I were, she can call, text anytime, and she knows we're going to respond, we're going to communicate, because you got to have those people around you so that gift could be cultivated, yeah.
You literally have to, because you can stay in the same situation and it just suck you dry, like he was talking about earlier. And if you are one of those people who feel like that, you may have that, a type of gift like this, and start understanding, like, you're an empath. You feel people's, and you're sucking in. You're like, why do I feel like this? It may be a gift that's like not tapped, and it's like trying to open your mind that it exists and to protect yourself so you can help them, but just in a different way. So this is Prophetically Speaking. It's our second segment. I was nervously excited about it. So you literally never know what's going to come out of our mouth, because we let God guide us, literally.
Yeah. And I think people are embracing it, and I think some people that are listening are growing their eyes and their understanding of being enlightened. And I think it's going to be really great for a lot of people.
It is. It's what do we do here? Yes. We open your mind to living differently in the world.
Yes.
So I offer that to each and every one of you, to open your mind, and to, if it's something you don't understand, look it up. And we will be back here with Prophetically Speaking next Monday with Henry Bolden. Thanks so much, Henry, for all that you do.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, y'all. We are out, and I hope to see you tomorrow. We do have everything else headlining for Relationship Tuesday. Balance. You have balance in your life, balance in your relationships. Let's see what we can do to create more balance for each and every one of y'all. It's a good life, y'all. I'm out. Hey y'all, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. We're starting some new segments this week and last week. So if you missed a show, you want to go back, you can also always find us at tglradioshow.com. We are live on Instagram. I'm working on my Spreaker right now, because we will be having our own app soon and launching it. We're really growing, and I'm really just excited about all of the I was talking to you, but thank you so much for tuning in, YouTube. And for anyone, please hit the subscribe button, and they will give you notifications when we're live and when we upload new shows. Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. We're out.